Greta, you're here. Vashon, oh, Vashon's coming. Sarita, welcome everybody to the Mumfreedompreneurs, our hangout. And I think there's some background noise. Greta, it might be you if you can mute out a little bit. There might be some background noise happening. No, can you hear me, Greta? Okay, not sure. Yeah, because I hear some background noise. Okay, all right, cool. So today, what we're going to be talking about, Greta, can you can you hear me, Greta, right now? Wave if you can hear. Sorry, folks, we're just going to do. Oh, perfect. Okay, great. We've got the background noise muted out. And I'm for those of you if this is your first time. Oh, I know what that is. That's my page. Hang on one second. I'll fix that. I will fix that. Just a second. Techie issues, which is actually perfect for what's going on right now. Okay. All right. Cool. So there we go. Fix that. Okay. For those of you who are doing Hangouts, quick little tip. If you have your page open, and you might want to have your page open because folks are going to be looking at your comments, it creates a feedback loop. So if you're ever hearing a noisy feedback loop and you've created a Hangout and you've got it on a separate page, that's what causes it. Pause the video and that'll stop it. Just FYI, any of you folks out there that you're just learning how to do Hangouts like this. Okay. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to overcome obstacles, how to overcome obstacles in our business. And we've got Sarita. We go, hey. And Greta, I think Greta might be on pause. Oh, Greta, we just lost Greta, but she'll come back. We've got Vashon coming, and possibly Anissa might be coming. And what I wanted to start to talk about is, and then we'll get into everybody else's, because we all have these powerful experiences of this within our business. And I had a pattern in the past with my business that, especially as a mompreneur, okay, and where I would, something would happen in my business or in my life, and it could be either way. It can be an obstacle that happens in your business, like even just something as simple as this. You saw we were having a little bit of a technical difficulty as we were starting the Hangout, right? We started like a minute or two late, which by the way is okay, and there's a whole thing that goes with that. It's okay if it starts a minute or two late. And we had an issue where we had a little bit of background noise. And so we had to sort of like suss that out a little bit. And it's possible to, especially if you're new, especially if you're very, very new to business, you're very, very new to doing this whole entrepreneurial thing, where if something happens, a glitch happens, that immediately this little thought comes up and goes, oh no, I screw things up and everything is screwed up and I can't do this and I'm not good enough for this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I can't handle tech and I don't know this and I don't know, whatever it is, whatever your thing is. I mean, it could be completely offline and something happens, right? Something happens because there will always be some kind of weird glitches. It's just life, stuff happens. And what we do in that moment when something that you did not expect happens, okay? Like you have a plan, we all have a plan, and we create, this is what we're going to do, and and you set out your plan for what you want to happen, and stuff happens. And it can be something like that. It could be, or it could be a very big thing. I had a very big personal thing happen to me in my life in the last few days. And in the past, some things, like if something really big would happen, it can be as big as a family member getting very ill. It can be something that happens to you. You might have a health challenge. You might have some kind of weird thing that happens. I'm just gonna put my phone on mute. Little dinging things going on. I'm getting messages from Greta, and it's dinging my phone. She's having some tech issues. Oh, Vashon, you're here! Yay! Hey, Vashon. And things can happen. And it could be big things or even little things, and especially like even things like with my kids. Something can happen with my kids, or I may do something and I may make a mistake, because we're not all perfect parents. I'd like to be a perfect parent, but I don't know if there is such a thing. But I'll make a mistake, and I might say something that I regret saying to my child in the heat of the moment of something, or didn't handle something in the way that I'd really want to handle it, that I know better to handle it. And I would, any one of those myriad of things can come up. And like, for example, Sarita Vachon, just, obstacles. What's some of the obstacles, that may have happened in your early days, in the past, in your business, something that could have derailed you in your business? Can you, do you want to share, a thought or two of just some of the stuff that might, just examples of little things that have or could have come up to derail you in moving forward in your business?
Sure, I can go ahead. Thanks, Valerie. Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
So as far as derailing, I mean, it's easy to find a number of things that can derail you in business. One, obviously, you can use the excuse that you have to spend your time with your children, and that's one. It's a beautiful excuse, but it's also one that I think that we all need to have a nice balance there between your work and your business. And for me, I think probably the initial one was money. You look at your business from a perspective of, I need to invest in myself, but you also, as a mother, you sometimes see that money as something you need for your children, and so it's hard to open your own business with the thought process of, hey, this is a lot of money and it could put my family at risk. Instead, you need to turn those thoughts around anytime you feel that sense of derailment and take a look at it from the perspective of, I'm doing something good for my family, for myself, and set time aside so that you can do something positive instead of looking at it from a negative as a derailment.
Right, and thank you. Yeah, that's from those we're talking the decision place of even starting, and I'm talking even once you're started. For the folks that get started, that have actually made the decision and they decide and they understood and they've already made the decision that they know that this is something to create your future. It's and you've already made that decision and you make the plan. Right, and you've got we're given what's so powerful, because we're all together, we do all the same business here with what we do, and we have like a simple set of directions. They say, okay, here's your plan, here's go forth and do these steps. Just go do the steps and all will be good, right? And that's great if you do the steps, right? Got to actually do the steps. And what I'm talking about is, we've made the decision and we found a way to make the investment, because we know, when I first started, my goodness, I'm you guys I'm an attorney, but what happened is I was on maternity leave with the twins. The company, the studio that I worked for almost 10 years went bankrupt, laid off almost everybody in the company, including me, and all the lawyers in my department, poof, gone, and I had preemies on my hand, little preemie twins, a single mom with preemies, and I was having health issues because I had to have an emergency C-section. Basically, everything went into childcare just as an emergency situation, and I, cashed in everything, my 401ks, bottom line, after all was said and done, I ended up at rock bottom, because it was very challenging from a professional standpoint to find that position. And in my heart of hearts, I really didn't want to be working. I think that's part of it too. I wanted to be at home with my kids. I wanted to find a way to do things and be at home with my kids. I didn't want my kids raised by somebody else. I just didn't want them in daycare. I wanted to be raising them. And so I actually started from a very little foundation of what I could start with, but I made the decision, and I actually took action and followed one of the simple exercises that we have, and I manifested resources out of thin air. That's for another hangout, another topic. But once you've started, it's like we have this simple system saying, okay, go do this, right? And what I found, what could happen for me personally, is that and a lot of people, because I hear this, is why I want to speak to it, especially with moms. It's like you set aside. You can say, okay, I'm setting aside this time to do this, and you have your plan, and then something happens. It can be either something in the business itself, like we had a little tech issue getting started here, or it could be some, you know, it could be you're in the process of learning learning a new skill, and maybe at first it's new to you, and at first maybe you make a mistake, and you can let that get to you, or it can be something even personal in your life. Like for me, personal things came up in my life, and instead of what I want to talk about here, and we can all join in on it, is how to handle that obstacle. Because I came from a background of a lot of negative in my life and shame and blame, I went into this place of somehow feeling I wasn't, because of what was happening in my life, especially if it was a mistake that I made, okay, that I was not worthy of the abundance. I was not worthy of what was going on, and I would get so upset at myself for having made whatever mistake it was in my life that I would just, in essence, crawl into a hole and not do anything and not take action in my business, and then my business would not thrive. Because this isn't magic, being an entrepreneur is not magic. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's a heck of a lot easier than what I did as an attorney, my goodness. People that don't even have college degrees, people that aren't even high school graduates are successful with what we do. But you got to actually take the action. And if you don't do the simple steps, then nothing happens. But I was in such an emotional place that I wouldn't take the action. I would stop because I felt like either A, I didn't deserve it, or B, it was a sign that somehow I couldn't do it. Right? I'd hit one obstacle and go, oh, I can't do this, right? Or something big in my life would come up and say, this means, like I would put some weird meaning on it. This means that this isn't right for me right now. Instead of going, this means, there's a whole other way of looking at obstacles. And I've just seen so many people, and it breaks my heart to, not just what happens to me, but it was happened to other people. And there's a whole other way of looking at an obstacle, no matter what it is, whether it's a tech issue or whether it's something massive in your life. I mean, I had a family member that had breast cancer and had to have a double mastectomy. I've had weird stuff from my past come up and affect me financially. I've had stuff happen with my children, sickness with my children, or my own sickness. I've had so many things that come up, but that's just and I kept asking myself, and I kept asking the wrong question. I kept asking myself, why are these bad things happening to me? And the more I asked the question, why are these bad things happening to me, I would just sort of like spiral into this thing. And the question, and this was the powerful question that turned everything around for me, was to ask a completely different question, which is, what can I do to turn this into the most powerful? How can this become the best thing that ever happened to me? Whatever's happening right now. How can this become the best thing that's ever happened to me? And I don't know how to explain it, but magical things can happen from there, because I was tapping into something very, very different. And I recently, is it like 2 days ago, had something really big happen to me that could have derailed me. And I recognized the pattern from the past that I learned to overcome, and instead of going to where I did, because my business has started to move and powerful things are happening, I'd get to a place, like I started the business, I'd be making, and again, income disclaimer below, we don't know what any of you are going to do, and Sarita, my goodness, we're going to talk about what's happening for Sarita lately too. It's just some powerful things happening. I'd make more in one day, thousands. I'd make more in one day than I ever made in a week as an attorney, right? And I'd get and I'd start that momentum, and then something would happen, I'd stop. And then I'd make that happen, and then something would happen, and that would stop, because I would stop myself from taking action, right? Because of what I would interpret in my mind as to what was happening in front of me. whether it's a glitch in the business or a personal glitch. And when this thing happened, first of all, I'm now, we're connected. We have this incredible community. Men or women, whatever you're watching, women, we have this massive community here. And I would connect with the community. I actually posted we have private groups. I posted in the group saying, I got something going on. In fact, that's why this hangout was delayed until Wednesday instead of having it normally on the Monday, because something happened in my life. Just I want to be like real transparent here. Something happened in my life that I had to physically take care of Monday morning. Morning for me, whatever time zone it is for you in Australia or wherever else. And I had to take care of it. And I let everybody know, this is what's going on, let's reschedule, right? But I reached out and I said, if you can, send some energy, send some prayers, and the amount of love and warmth. I mean, when you're part of a community, that's one of the other things too, is we have a community. We have a community of I have these incredible women here. We have a community where we have accountability partners. We just have this massive community to join into. That no matter what you're doing as an entrepreneur, don't do it alone. Have a community of people that will lift you up and not buy into the scenario of, life sucks and then you die theory, right? And go, oh, woe is me with you, and instead lift you up into you can do it and anything is possible, right? And I got such an incredible response from it. It was just the most powerful thing. I mean, it was very powerful, and all of you, you ladies were part of that, and thank you so much. And I then knew, because of everything else that we do, because what we're involved with is you've got to have a personal development side working with you, because being an entrepreneur, it's not just about knowing all the ninja tricks in your business of what to do. It's also having the mindset so that what you're doing, it affects what you do, like where you are inside of you, so that A, you keep going, and B, what you do really reaches out and helps people. And I got up that morning that I had to do something. And I actually did it again this morning. And I got up really early. For me, it was like 5 in the morning. And I got myself connected to audios. And we have access to audios. Like everyone knows sometimes there's that go-to audio that is really going to pump you back into gear. And there's a button below. If you click access that, you'll be able to get access to that. But and you can do that right now if you want, as we're talking, and take care of that. What I did was I accessed some audios, and I knew I needed, for me, what I was going through, for me, I just knew I needed a couple hours. Sometimes you can do it half an hour a day is cool, but when there's something big going on for me personally, I needed a couple hours, and I got up early, and I listened, and what happened is, as while I was doing that and listening to that, is I reminded myself of something extremely powerful. And this might get a little esoteric for some of you, but I am just going to speak it out, because I feel that if you are on this, if you're watching this right now, that means that you need to hear this message. What's going to come out of my mouth, what's going to come out of Greta's mouth, what's going to come out of Sarita's mouth, what's going to come out of Vishon's mouth. What we are going to say to you today is something that somebody here listening, it might be you, and what each one of us, it's meant for you. And there's no accidents, and it says something powerful and wonderful about you that you're here. It says something powerful and wonderful about you that you are here right now. And anything that you see in any of us that you're going, wow, that's so cool, that is inside of you as well. Just saying. Okay. So what I realized and what I remembered was that we are all abundance. Whatever I don't know if this is going to go beyond any of your religious or beliefs, but that we are all connected to something extremely powerful. And the essence of who we are, and I'm going somewhere with this, connected to business, trust me, who we are as human beings, who we are, actually before human beings, who we are, the essence of who we are is full abundance, full wisdom, full joy, full love, full creativity, full innovativeness, all of that. That is who we are. And we have everything that we need inside of us right now, right here, right now. And sometimes we can create for ourselves when we forget that. When we forget that and we buy into this, what some might call the virus of the mind of lack, limitation, not enoughness, scarcity, all of that, we can buy into that. And when we buy into that, it's kind of like the part of ourselves, the inner wisdom, the powerful self of ourselves, right, can create situations, or we'll place ourselves in situations that are there to remind us of who we really are. And that can go back as far as, far back in time as you want to go. And you may ask yourself, okay, so if you have a family member that is going through whatever they're going through, there's everybody around us, there's always something going on. And if you want to look at the news, you can look at tragedy and you can look at that perception of the world. Or you can look at it and you can see the power and the beauty. I'm telling you, what happened to that family member, what she went through, and she's on the other side of it now, she's a different person now. She is a much more powerful, not only is she healthy, but she's a much more powerful, loving, well, she was loving, but more loving to herself. And there was a transformation that happened for her, okay, that would not have happened had she not gone through what she went through. Not saying that a disease or cancer or anything of that is good and they're necessary, because it's not. You don't need to have any of that stuff in your life. But when something comes up, we always, no matter what it is, personal, financial, with our kids, in our business, no matter what it is, we have a choice. We have a choice to go, okay, that means whatever negative or lack or whatever, downward turn, or we can choose to say, you know what? Here's an opportunity for me to remind myself of the beauty of who I am, the beauty of who everybody else is, the abundance in the universe, the inherent health in the universe, because it is, and to come from that place and to feel the joy. Because when I went there on Monday morning, the amazing feeling of joy and bliss that just filled my life, and all of a sudden it was like everything is okay, because everything is okay. All the other stuff is the illusion. Everything is okay, because I realized everything that was happening was just there to remind me of who I really am, because I'd made a stupid mistake that caused my situation. Being blunt, I made a stupid mistake that caused my situation. And I did temporarily, I'll be honest, I went into this, how I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, how could I do what I did? How could I do it? And for privacy of some folks, I'm just not going to get into details, but how could I do that? How could I do it? And then I went back, because I had my tools, and I knew, go reach the community, go to your tools. And I went to the audios that I have access to, and this is what came up for me as I was listening. And it was so empowering. I have no better word for it, because then all of a sudden then I asked myself, it's like, okay, and what can I do? How can I make this better? What can I do? And as I kept asking that question, it just kept coming back to me like, wow, right here, lovingly in my face, saying, people say slap in the face, and I don't believe in slap in the face. Lovingly enveloping me in my face, saying, wow, who you really are. And I just felt that joy, and I was like, wow, and all the big problems just all of a sudden became really teeny small. And it's like, okay, I need to do this and this and this and this and this, and then an idea would come and say, okay, make this phone call, okay, now I need to do this, now I need to do this, and step by step by step I solved it, and I got things done, right? And it was a big thing that I had to get done, and I did it. And even in the middle of that, my accountability partners were messaging me going, we need to do a hangout right now. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. Because it happened, because I was in the rhythm of that, right at the moment that they needed it, wow, amazingly, I was waiting for a call. I had 20 minutes to do it. I had 20 minutes to do that piece. And so, yes, my schedule for the day got thrown out of whack, because that can happen. And I could have chosen to let it derail me completely in my business. And I went, no, I reached out to the ladies here and I said, can we reschedule this for Wednesday? I was not going to give up on this. Can we reschedule this? Right? And I found a way to get things done, to still move forward in my business, despite what was going on. and to fuel myself. And yes, and we have a call on Monday nights that you can listen to as well, and I access, message, when you're in the system you definitely have access, but just message us, we can give you access to that. But it's like I did it. And I mean, what was so powerful was that awareness, and ideas just kept coming to me. And I was on another hangout yesterday with Greta. I was actually mentioning some of the same stories. She was talking about how right now, you could talk about it too, but all these ideas of like what's so excited, what we can do. And then when we're in that space, I open myself up, and you open yourself up to the ability to find solutions of how to overcome not just make it through that particular problem, but how to go to even another level. Like I've got all these ideas to go even further, like to really make it, to make an even better difference. It's like and I went into this place of what if, because we all make goals of what we want to do, and what if that bigger dream that I just had in my mind, that bigger vision of what I'm here to do for myself and for the world, what if I take those actions on those ideas that just came up? What if I follow that system with these new ideas, right? Wow, what if that really works? What if that really works, right? And instead of going, what if gloom and doom, what if this bad happens, like and future pacing and future casting all the positive, all the probable negative things, go future casting all the probable positive things, and living in the moment here and now, going, wow, and you know what, right here is good, and right here I can enjoy my life, and right here I can fix whatever just occurred, because that's the past, and all that matters is here and now, and what I do here and now in this moment here and now. So that was my big take on it that I wanted to share. And now I kind of want to go through with everybody else as well, because I'm sure you've all had your experiences of something, and something that may have come up in your business, and how and what you did in order, like what mindset has helped you to keep moving forward. And at first, I kind of want to start with Sarita, and I want to give a huge shout out, because I don't know if she's going to do it for herself, but I got to do it. Something very powerful happened for her, because she's been taking consistent action and not letting anything get to her. At least that's what I'm hearing. We're going to hear how she's overcome anything that might have popped up. But just was it last week? All of a sudden, had an amazing, couple of days. You made over a couple thousand in just a couple of days, and you're in right away in your business, and you're pretty new to all of this, and you're like creating consistent amazing results, and just again, income disclaimer, look below. We don't know what you're going to do in your life with your business, but just saying. So I want to pass it over to you, Sarita, to talk on this, because I know you were excited when you heard about the topic, when I suggested the topic. Oh, we can't hear. We can't hear. Yeah, turn on the sound. There we go.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yep,
sorry,
yep.
I had unmuted myself. I think it's an awesome topic, because life constantly gets in the way. There's always something happening. If you have children, if you don't have children, if you have children, it's more is happening. If you got 6 children like Greta, I guess there's a lot more happening. I've got 2 children, so I've got a little boy who's 2 and a daughter, she's 3.5, and all the time things are coming up, but that's just them. And then obviously managing yourself and your, what life throws at you, be it like illness or be it the naysayers, especially in this kind of business. I mean, when I started, to be honest, I never told anyone I was doing this until I was 6 weeks in, because I didn't want anyone to say anything negative, because I really wanted to just go, really focus on this, and I wanted to grow my confidence before anyone would throw stones at me. So I didn't, and then you start coming more out of your shell, and you're doing things, and you're building an online presence, and some people are going to judge you, and you're going to get the naysayers or the people, the haters. You're going to get those, and you know, it is challenging, and things like that could stop you. Like for me, I've found, it hasn't happened a lot because I get a lot of positive feedback, but there were a couple, and I do take things to heart, but in the end of the day, I think what keeps me going through everything is just my why. And my why, I think if you have a strong why and you remember why you've chosen, why you're doing what you're doing, like I'm doing it for my children. I want to leave a legacy. I want to help other women. But, any people can throw stones at me or whatever, but then if I just remember why am I doing this, that helps me keep going. And then I guess all the tools, like the things that we're like taught in this business is to every day, like the 8 core commitments, read daily, listen to audio daily. And it almost like you're reprogramming your mind to dig into those resources. So when things are going good, you just do it. But then when things are not maybe going so good because something's happened, it's almost like you remember better to go looking for those, because it's something that you almost follow every day. So I think it just helps, to remind yourself that this is actually helping. Because every time I listen to an audio, I think I'm addicted to it now. Like I listen to way more audio than we're supposed to. I mean, I guess you can never listen to enough. But every time I really have a free moment, I'm plugged into audio while I'm doing the dishes, while I'm doing the washing, while I'm driving, because I know it makes me feel better. I'm learning, and I'm working towards my goal, and it just makes me, feel stronger and know that it makes me connected to my purpose. So I think, yeah, it's just so awesome to just, be plugged into a system where you already got things in place. So when something happens and perhaps someone's judging you, or like I had problems with my autoresponder in the beginning. I chose the wrong one that my team wasn't using, and then I had to change it, and then I had already some leads on there, and I didn't know how to transfer. And then I remember one night I was up all night trying to work how to do it, and I could have given up. I could have said it's too hard. But in the end, what kept me going is keep going back to my why. It's like I'm doing this because I want to have a better life for me and my children. I want to travel. I want to, all the lives. I want to be home with my children. I don't want to put my boy into daycare. I want to raise my own children. So that why is way more powerful. And I think it's almost like that lioness coming out, being a mum, like, you're like, oh, I'm going to, like this killer instinct of like, nothing's going to stop me. And I think that's the beautiful thing about being a mum. Like I have this in extreme sense of, nothing's going to stop me because I'm doing this for my children. It's a pretty powerful force. And I don't know if I could actually, I'm sure I could, but I think I'm way more connected to it because I'm a mum now, and I've got 2 little ones to protect, and I want to be the, give the right be a role model and leave a legacy for them, and then I want them to be proud of me. So I think, yeah, the why really helps me. And what else? I've written down a few things. Okay, yeah, to be positive, patient, and persistent, right? Just to choose to be positive. It's I think I've done a lot of self-development over the years, but many people are still in this, like you say, gloom and doom. You meet a friend, you gossip about someone, or all this. Many people are into that, or people are just go to someone's house and they have a coffee and they talk about the news. Like, to me, all this is like red flag. Like I can't do it because I know it's going to put me in a negative, I'm not going to be positive thinking about all the bad things that are happening in the world, because there's so many good things happening in the world. But if you're constantly, the moment you get up and you have a coffee and you're following the news or you're reading the newspaper, many people do that, and they do it unconsciously because they've been because their parents have done that, and it's normal. It's like, you're so weird, you're not reading the newspaper. Well, you know what? It's working for me because the moment I do maybe have a look, like I think the other day I was at my partner's parents, and we don't get the newspaper, and I just looked at the first page, and it was about World War II. You know, there was a whole section. I was like, oh yeah, so something's not happening in the world. Let's go back to that and focus on that. And it's just, the thing is, if you focus on those negative things, it's not going to help you create what you want to create. And it's not trying to be ignorant and not wanting to know about the world. Like, in fact, it's more, you know, I want to gather all my positive energy to be able to create more and leave a legacy and help others. And I can't do that if I focus my energy on all the bad things that are happening in the world, because then, you know, it's just not going to help me focus and move towards my goal. And another thing I do every day, and I try to do it even if I have a bad day, is just have that, you know, I've written out like a goal, an outcome statement. I've told you that, Valerie, and I've put it in my Google Calendar, and I read it out to myself twice a day, because that's another way to keep focus. You know, keep reminding yourself why you're doing this, and keep bringing that to you despite whatever is happening. So, and also, I think the more you love yourself, the more you make, you know, start, you know, nurturing yourself and loving yourself. You need to love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to watch television tonight, because that's not going to help me and my family to reach the goal, right? You know, you need to, it's almost like, sometimes I think we're just in this mode of, or, you know, many people are, because they don't know any better. That's what you do. You watch television at night, and you just, you know, you let, you know, you watch other people pretty much live their life, love, you know, but you're not creating your own life. And I think you can, in this world these days, with this world being connected, like we're all here on this hangout with people from all around the world, women connected. We're following our dreams. We're making our dreams come true, and it's truly possible. Like I didn't think 6 months ago that I'd be traveling to the States. I was twice, you know, going from Australia 34 hours to America. As you know, this is because I found this, because I was, you know, looking for something better for me and my family, and I found something, and now I'm plugged in with all these amazing women that I can reach out to whenever I want, really. And they're usually awake. Like on Facebook, I always find someone that's awake if I want to reach out to someone. But it's just so beautiful, because we're all on the same mission. We want to create a better life for us and our families. And it is actually a huge thing. It's not a small thing. It's, you know, like our life will affect others, you know, like if we are happier, you know, we'll be an inspiration to other people, and they're like, wow, you know, there's another way. You don't have to live the way that everyone's been told to live, you know. And you see all these people walking around like zombies, going to their jobs, or, you know, not seeing their children, and it's okay, it's accepted, and it's not okay. And yeah, I'm just so excited to be here tonight again and connect with you, because I feel in my purpose, and I feel more and more aligned with my purpose, more than I ever felt before. And it's becoming bigger than I thought. You know, when I started 6 months ago, like before, it was just, I want to just find a way to pay my bills and not struggle. And now it's becoming like way bigger, because I know I can help others. And then, you know, I want to start also, you know, raising some money for underprivileged children and women. You know, it can get bigger and bigger. First, it's your small little vision for you and your family, and then when you create enough, you can give, and you can give back. So yeah, I'm just super, super happy to be here once again, and I might pass it to Greta.
Woohoo!
Awesome. Oh, I just love hearing all that. It's like what a better, there's no better way than to start the day with like people who have the same vision as you do for yourself and your family and for so many other people all over the world. And that was really, really beautiful, Sarita. I loved everything that you had to say and related to so much of it, obviously. And I'm in the middle of breastfeeding at the same time, so and I need to actually call out for a little bit of help here with him so that I can speak. So, Vashon, if you do want to take a moment, and because I know we're heading to the end of the hour, and I don't want to take up anybody else's time.
There we go. Oh, Vashon, we got to turn on your volume.
All right, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Woohoo! All right.
Well, thanks, Greta. That's beautiful, and that's one of the things that's so wonderful about being part of this team is that a lot of us are mothers, and it's just so neat to get to see everyone's children. I've seen Sarita's children in the hangouts, and Greta, of course, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I wanted to kind of expand on what Sarita said because she really, it's so powerful. Sarita, thank you for all of the things that you put out there. You're such an inspiration for all of us. So what I wanted to say is one of the things that I learned about 5 years ago from a personal mentor that I had, and I still do it today, is I call it the rule of 3, and it's the rule of 3, and I do it every morning, and it really helps to put me in the proper mindset to get done what I need to get done. So if you guys are taking notes, this is something that you might find useful. I know it helped me. So here's the rule of 3, and I wrote it down just so I wouldn't forget anything, but basically it has to do with gratitude, highlight, and affirmation. So I'm going to explain what those mean. Gratitude, highlight, and affirmation. So when you first get up in the morning, if you can take some time for yourself, for even 10 minutes, but ideally about 30 minutes would be better. But what you want to do is you want to think about or meditate. I like to meditate in the morning as a martial artist. And what I do is I think about, number one, what am I most grateful for? So that's the gratitude part. And just go list as many things as you can, and then the one in particular will always resonate in that day. At least it does for me. Like I'll think of a lot of things that I'm grateful for, and then there's one thing that'll just stand out, and I'll kind of focus on that, and just feel the gratitude and joy that I feel with having whatever it is in my life. A lot of times it comes back to my 2 sons, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of their life and for them to be a part of mine. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the highlight, and this really puts me in the proper mindset. Is I think about what's going to be my highlight for the day. In other words, what am I hoping happens during the end of the day? What's going to be the big, wow, this is wonderful part of my day? And it could be anything, and oftentimes this is kind of the game I play, is that I think it's going to be something, and then at the end of the day I kind of review, and a lot of times it's something else entirely that ended up being the highlight of the day. So it's that surprise moment of your day. And I also like to think about what was the highlight from yesterday, and that kind of adds into the whole gratitude thing as well. What was it that really stood out from the day and was an important lesson that I learned? And then the third thing is your positive affirmation, and this is the thing you want to really focus on the most. And what I mean by the positive affirmation is something that you aspire to for the day, and it could be for your life too, if it's something that you've struggled with. So an example of one that I used today actually was the affirmation of I am productive. And you may not be productive, but by affirming that you are, suddenly it puts you in that mindset for the day. And with your positive affirmation, I recommend just choosing one for the day and just sit with that particular affirmation and just focus on that. And ideally pick something that you really are struggling with in your life. Maybe you have a tendency to procrastinate, or maybe you have a tendency to not be very good with time management. So what you do is you turn that around to a positive, and you say, I am good with managing my time and getting things done in blocks of time throughout the day, and just really focus on that. And you'll find that over time your whole life will change, because now you've turned something that you maybe struggled with in your life into something positive. So once again, those three things are gratitude, express gratitude for whatever it is that you have in your life and that you're grateful for. And the second one is your highlight of the day, so something that you're hoping will happen that day. And then the last one is a positive affirmation on what you are going to become as you continue to work your life and your business. So I hope that helps you all. I know it really has helped me, and it has transformed me over the past 5 years. So Greta, are you able to talk again?
I am, and I was
go ahead
and I had a free. Can you hear me?
Yes,
oh,
we can
I was
hear
going
you.
to say, and I have a pencil and a piece of paper, and I wrote everything down. I just absolutely love what you just said, Deshawn. That was so amazing and powerful, and I have heard of other people speak of it before, but never have had it explained like that. So thank you so much for taking the time to do that for us. That's so awesome. Oh, don't you just love these hangouts? It's just like, I just know I'm gonna walk away with like so many more new tools and just so much value. So thank you, all of you, for sharing everything. And so as far as I guess we're also touching on struggles that we may have faced and such, right, Valerie, in our business.
And how we overcame
them. Yes. Well, I can definitely relate to. I mean, I definitely think it's a combination of things, and because we are plugged into this community and listen to audio daily and read daily, and we're just obsessed with creating and making a difference in the world, because essentially that's what we're all doing here, and we're proactively doing each and every day. I eat, breathe, sleep. I'm just obsessed with this part of my life. I knew a very long time ago, at a very young age, that I wanted to make a difference, that helping others made me in turn feel better about myself, and I realized how powerful that was. And so I love it, because I think Sarita had mentioned this as well, about being obsessed, and that's essentially it. That word right there. People sometimes think that obsession is, oh, that person's obsessed with that. It's actually a good thing when you're obsessed about the right things in your life. So I'm obsessed with being a mother. I'm obsessed with making a difference, and I like to look at and view my children as my little obsessions and helping making a difference in the world together. I always like, when things get difficult here at home with the kids and things are just derailed and everybody's kind of discombobulated, which happens with so many of us and all these different personalities, because they're all different. Let's face it, we are all unique. We're all essentially the same, the base of us within. And then we all have our unique gifts and our unique personalities and things. And no matter how much you try to change people, you can't. The only person you can change is yourself. So if you're looking for change in your life, I encourage you to focus on what's within yourself. And then you'll see other things change around you. Like for me, for instance, and I love that we talked about the gratitude and how important that is, because I had created a post recently on my Facebook wall on gratitude. Somebody nominated me for this challenge, this 5-day challenge, to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day. And I did it for the first 3 days, and then 2 days went by. I kept reminding myself, oh, I got to do that, because I really enjoy it. And I didn't take a moment for a couple of days, and I really noticed a difference. I'm glad that I stepped away from it for a couple of days, because I noticed my mind was just a little bit more negative, and because of that, because I wasn't really focused on what I was grateful for, and I was just kind of walking around like a chicken with its head cut off, like I do sometimes with all these kids, I noticed, because it has a ripple effect around you. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever your feelings are, if you're feeling overwhelmed, chances are people around you are feeling that, because we're all made up of energy. right? And it affects all the people around us. And us as moms, if you're a mom watching this right now, you know that you set the stage. You set the stage. So if you're happy, your kids are happy, no matter what. No matter what you may be going through in your life, whatever challenges, whatever, big eruptions happen in your life, today, yesterday, whatever, it's how you respond, how you react to those situations that affects not only yourself, but all your kids. So for those 2 days, I was struggling a little bit. I really, really was. And then last night again, I took that moment. It was, mind you, it was, I don't know, it was 3 in the morning or something, but I did it anyways. I was up breastfeeding, so I just took that moment to do it. And I started my day off right. It's taking those moments. And yeah, so I mean, basically, we're all going to face different things. Things are going to come and they're going to go. And they're going to, like Valerie was saying about her story, what happened to her. It was a good thing. It was to remind her of how powerful she is. It was to set Valerie up for what is coming. Because Valerie is doing phenomenal things. She is making things happen. She is shifting. I have seen you grow, Valerie, so much. Just being connected to these people, being connected to Valerie, being connected to Vashon, being connected to Sarita. These 2 women are new to me, and I just learned so much of them just from hanging out with them for a few moments and hearing them share. I mean, you need to be connected with these people. This is how I get through the challenges that I'm faced with in my life. And you know what? Because I focus on the positive things. Yes, I have my moments. I just talked about that. I have my moments, my negative states and things like that. It happens. But because I'm plugged in, I get through. It doesn't last as long, whereas before I could have been out for a week. I could have had 2 weeks of just, negativity going on. And I get up and I brush myself off and I just keep going. I just keep going. You just keep going. Like Valerie said, we live in a world of abundance. Abundance is all around you. It's all around you. You just have to learn to breathe, meditate, like Vashon was talking about. It's so important. If you're not doing it, I highly recommend that you start doing it. And if you don't know where to start with meditation, the way I started out, which I still use now, is guided meditation. I mean, even if you just look up, Google Deepak Chopra guided meditations, you can find so many videos and things that can help you to learn how to do it. I don't care if you think it's weird or somebody says it's weird or whatever, it works. It truly, truly works. It makes a difference. And I don't watch TV. I don't have a television. I don't own a television. My kids don't watch TV. We don't watch movies. We watch documentaries and things like that. And stuff that we're going to learn from. Positive things. I don't read the newspaper. Yes, it still comes to my house, but it goes in the recycling. Or I use it for packing when I move because I seem to move all the time. But yes, I mean, all these things are just. You just need to surround yourself with people who are there to lift you up, basically, who believe in what. If there's people out there who aren't believing in what you're doing or how you're feeling or what you're saying or what you stand for, and you truly believe that you're out there to make a difference, you're here to make a difference, then just let them go. I've learned so much about the power of letting go in my life, and it serves me each and every day. When I have a moment, when I think, I'm focused on something that's somewhat negative in my life, I just let it go. I tell myself, I'm conscious. I consciously have phrases that I say to myself when I'm challenged. Everything is as it should be. That's one that I say constantly. I said that during my last birth That was my mantra, and I swear to you, this is how powerful this community is, and being surrounded by these super women that I have here on the panel with me today. While I was in labor, first of all, I was sitting at the computer. There was people around. It was Thanksgiving dinner. I was sitting. I knew I needed to get to the next event, and the tickets were on sale. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get to the computer. I was sitting there, my legs spread, and I was just rocking, and I was on the computer getting my ticket to the next event. I was so focused. Nobody knew I was in labor. I mean, I probably looked a little weird, but I do that sometimes. So and then all of a sudden, because the kids were just talking about it the other day, and they said, yeah, it was really funny because you were sitting at the computer and all of a sudden you got up and said, I'm in labor. And I just went to the bedroom, and my partner, Leon, he just said, okay, Mommy's in labor, everybody's got to move the Thanksgiving dinner over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and that's it. So I went to the bedroom, and I thought, and I took all, and I made a post, and I said, it's happening.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, we all went nuts. We all went nuts because we actually had bets as to when it was going to happen. It was hysterical. The whole community was like in on this birth.
and it was and that was the thing. I felt everybody's energy there with me. I felt
like, yay. And then the messages, Facebook blew up. It blew up when you posted that. It was like, Yeah,
it was incredible, and I just kept thinking about my superwoman, and it was the most beautiful birth I've ever had. And I had my superwoman with me. I had the energy, and I enjoyed every moment. And I just kept telling myself everything is as it should be. And I was so quiet. I'm normally very loud, very loud. And I took it in, and I took it right within myself. And I just harnessed that energy and that powerful energy of all these women. And it was just so beautiful, and I was up the next day and on Hangouts, and it was just amazing.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're not already plugged in, get plugged in, because it will change your life.
Absolutely. I was gonna. Oh my God! I've just that was so powerful. I was like, I don't. Any of you watching that? I was like. Really, this is a real story. This is what really happened. It was so beautiful to be a part of that. It was so beautiful to be a part of that. Vashon, I have to say, and I just have to go back to when you were talking about the highlight. That is so brilliant on so many levels. That is so brilliant on so many levels, because what it does is you're immediately placing yourself into the experience. Because you talk about, I just want to hear people get this. Any of you that understand law of attraction, how powerful that is, what you do. Because what you're doing is you're saying, okay, and you're saying everything is as it should be. You're saying, what is it that is going to be the coolest thing that happens today? And then you think, while you're sitting there before it happens, about thinking about later in the day, about what it is that you're going to, it's like this game going, is it going to be this? Or is it going to be something even better than I can't even imagine right now, right? I mean, you're flipping time. Time has no meaning in that moment, and you're experiencing in the moment something that is like it. In our linear way of thinking, hasn't happened yet, but you're experiencing it as of now because you're thinking later in the day, going, "Oh, which one was it? This cool thing? Oh, it was that cool thing? Something even better." It's such a powerful exercise to do. It's like it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and I'm starting from the place of gratitude. It's like, ladies, please, if you want, take notes and do that. I'm going to do that. That is now part of my regime, and everything is as it should be, and everything, Sarita, of what you were saying. You go back and listen to this replay, because Sarita, you say things, and it's like you just throw them out just naturally. This is my vision of how I'm going to do, and I mean, it's so powerful to have that space and to be reading every single day of what, twice a day, reminding yourself of what is your well-formed outcome. And I just want to end it quickly where we're just here at the end of the hour, and if that's okay with you guys, I want to take us just quickly through a little exercise, if that's okay. It'll take like about a minute or two to do, and afterwards, you got folks write it down, because I want to just experience it right now. First thing I want to do is everybody take a deep breath in and release and feel relief. One more time, take a deep breath in. And let it out. And feel that relief and that joy of that emotion of what is flowing around inside of you right now. And to say out loud, even you're at home, to say this out loud, okay? And you can, and I even do it sometimes to say to my kids, my God, you are a magnificent being. Let's just repeat after me right now, ladies. Let's just say it right out loud together. My God, you are a magnificent being. And there is so much good in you. Let's say it together. There is so much good in you. So much love and life. Say so much love and life. So much beauty and joy. So much beauty and joy. Unlimited potential is in you. Unlimited potential is in you. It's all in you. It's all in you. And you are here to set it free. You are here to set it free. To release the inner splendor. To release your inner splendor. And to make a mighty difference on this planet. To make a mighty difference on this planet. Let's do this in the here and now. Let's do this in the here and now. Together. And so it is. That's it. Period.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Any of you that have been to an event, you get the that's it, period.
Yes, exactly. I love saying that. Oh, thank you. What a wonderful way to end this hangout today. Someone was sneaking in my office here, and I hope they were listening and absorbing all of that as well.
Yes.
You don't know who it is. They're
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so great. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
It will be Monday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern, and what is that? Midnight in where you are in Australia. And breakfast is coming right up.